Hello, and welcome to a Sabbat game, Milwaukee Bleeds. My name is David Tavares. I am your storyteller today. And allow me to set the scene. Last session, the pack found themselves in an ambush. The Second Inquisition is completely surrounded them, and now the pack is one member short. There are ashes flying everywhere. You see May's character from last session just unable to handle what's going on. The monstrous creature she's become just lets out this horrifying shriek. Ah! And soon, blood will fly. But before we complete this action sequence, let's go to our players today. Please, I'll list one of you off at a time. Introduce yourself, who you're playing, and what else you do if you want to mention anything now. Let us start with Khaldun. Tell us about yourself and Seem.
My name's Khaldun Khalil. I write for role-playing games, V5, Dune, and others. You can find me on Twitter at @KKhalil. And I'm playing Seem, the Zemese on the Path of Cathari. Not here for a long time, but for a good time. Well, okay, and a long time.
We shall see. Next, let's go to a newcomer. Unfortunately, May couldn't be here today, but Hugo is standing in for her. Hugo, please tell us about yourself and your character.
You're muted, love.
Hello.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. Let's try that again. I have to do it from the top because I don't know how to deliver the spiel partway through. I've done it so many times. My name is Hugo. You can find me pretty much anywhere at Sevatar____. Today I will be playing Isabela Dora Alvarez de Sidonia de Medina, a caitiff who is on Path of the Sun. She is also not here for a long time because she likes sunbathing, a dangerous hobby when you're a vampire.
Fantastic. Next, Sarah, why don't you go? Tell us about yourself and your character.
Okay. Hi, my name is Sarah. You may find me on Twitter and on my personal streaming platform as Salubri_NA, standing for North America. I am also a writer for Vampire the Masquerade RPGs. You may find me also on the Vorpal Tales Twitch stream, where I am a dungeon master for D&D 5th edition, and that is on Saturdays. And tonight I will be playing the one, the only Connie Salvo of Clan Salubri. She follows Path of Death in the Soul, and she is here to make Milwaukee bleed.
Fantastic. Thank you much. And last but not least, Rachel, why don't you just tell us about yourself and your character?
Hello, my name is Rachel. You can find me Stolen Fires pretty much everywhere. I am also a writer/editor for RPGs. I do things with words in games. And you can also find me on many other streaming channels, including Plastic Age Plays and Vorpal Tales. And tonight I am playing the Gangrel Bahari Charlotte.
Outstanding. Now, last session, Asim was not there. He was out hunting. He needed fresh vitae, or you cannot sustain yourself on let alone. This is going to be a flashback sequence, a very quick one, and we will introduce Hugo's character, Isabella Dora. Well, So, Seam, where would you hunt for your very particular palate?
Well, usually I would go to the Rack, a nightclub, anything like that, where I would know other vampires would go to hunt, and then I would, wait until I spotted one going to get a mortal in seclusion, and then I would turn them from predator to prey.
The hunters become the hunted.
Seems to be a theme.
Oh. So you know a particular alley where unsuspecting drunks linger and frequently get preyed upon. There just so happens to be third kindred involved in this. Isabella, why would you find yourself in this alley?
She is fleeing from the scene of her most recent hunt, which went exactly as planned in that it ended in a fatality. So Seam would probably see her scampering, I think is the proper verb to use here, scampering down a fire escape. Quietly and carefully, but definitely scampering and trying to make herself scarce before anyone comes looking for the young lady she has left exsanguinated upstairs.
Seam, your lips are still fresh with vitae. You had no trouble tracking down your prey. You gain glimpses of their life as they fade away. Are you going to drain them entirely, or just enough to sate your hunger?
Yeah, I'm not going to risk getting lost in them. I've got, pack business to do. So I'm going to try and resist from, drinking them dry. Just leave them, preferably wounded or in torpor.
They are like a rag doll in your hand, but slowly stiffen up as they feel more dead. You're now gaining insight into a meeting they had not too long ago. Someone was bragging about how they found Sabbat in the city and how Karna's going to take care of it herself. But those flashes go away from your mind as you see Isabella as Hugo described.
Okay, I nonchalantly throw the torpid vampire corpse into a dumpster as Isabella scampers down a fire escape and just kind of give her like eye contact the whole time.
Dora puts her fists on her hips and like throws her hair back. She's an attractive, if young-looking Mexican-American woman, just kind of wearing street clothes. You may interpret that however you wish. And she watches Seam do this for a minute or two, and then as Seam declines to break eye contact, she says, it's rude to stare.
I try to give Dora some like Sabbat hand signals. Like, I don't know what that would look like, Like...
He's trying to talk to me, but just throwing gang signs.
Yeah, but I'll throw a gang sign at
Dora does reply with the blood sign, which I just did off screen, and now I lost it. And it's pretty obvious she's like making fun of whatever's going on here, and she like kind of remembers herself, and she jumps down from the fire escape, and she lands with cat-like grace upon the pavement, and she says, I'm new in town. What's going on around here? I don't mean like with you right now. Like that's pretty obvious. I just mean like in general.
I throw a different Sabbat gang sign at Dora.
Dora looks puzzled and confused. And then she lowers her shirt, and you see right up here in her upper pectoral, there is not a tattoo but a brand that definitely looks like the sign of Cain.
Oh, good. I was worried, you were going to be too subtle for me.
It's a problem I have.
Subtlety? Yeah, me too. Just fly right over people's heads all the time.
So you were definitely not saying what's going on around here?
Well, what's going on is that looks like people like you and me are getting hunted. So let's go round up the posse. And come with me if you want. Or, die alone. Whatever you like.
Dying alone is like just such an aesthetic. But I can do that any other night. Sure, I'll tag along.
Great, nice to meet you. What did you say your name was?
Isabella Alvarez de Medina Sidonia. You can just call me Dora.
Okay, I'm going to do that. All right. I'm Kasim. Everybody calls me Seam.
Nice to meet you, Seam.
All right. Praise Cain. Let's do it.
You make your way to the scene of where you had those visions. Marquette University's library. You see what's known as the Joan of Arc chapel. It radiates a vast amount of just true faith energy. It's just you don't even need like aspects for this. It's just so unbearably holy that you have to avoid it. It's just nothing that you would want to deal with. But then, boom! You hear a big explosion across the yard. In a building just across the way. It's the library. And we're going to shift the scene back to where Connie and Charlotte are. Back to Tekri, this monstrous creature who's lurking in the shadows in a full rage, pouncing upon the hunter that just slew her packmate, tearing him apart. There's claws everywhere, blood splattering. However, there's also a lot of fire. Flamethrower-wielding hunter was just blown up. Flames everywhere. Could I please get from both Connie and Charlotte a frenzy check for flame? Fear enters your heart no matter what, but can you overcome it? It's just,
what should I roll for that?
Just your willpower. There would be a bonus from humanity, however, we don't have humanity here. We don't do that here. This is Sabbat.
All right. I think I'm about to do it correctly. Oh, there we go.
I hold steady.
Right. And it is I think, what is it? The second round of combat. So, Connie, I believe that you've converted your flaming body from taking aggravated damage to taking superficial damage already.
Yeah, I already pat myself out.
Okay.
And I had my fortitude activated. So there are people up in the rafters that we can't see, unless we have, sense the unseen. But there were also 2 hunters who were done up in tattoos and inscribings of true faith. Right? Something like that.
Right. Well, there was. Now,
now
Tekri's chewing into one. Yeah, Tekri's chewing into one right now. Right. Blood's flying.
And what kind of are they just in like tactical gear?
Something similar to tactical gear. It's been heavily modified. In fact, it's more covered with very esoteric and arcane holy symbols. Some things that most people will not be familiar with.
Right. I'm gonna go for a shot right between the eyes on the one still standing that's not being chewed on. Oh, that's gonna suck. All right. Wish me luck, guys.
Okay.
2 successes. One of them, actually, both of them were messy. Excuse me.
Some messy successes.
You're muted.
With those messy successes, not only does blood fly, but that hunter flips around right into the fire as well. But that the hunters with the pistols, who aren't the ones decked out, are now trying to unload into basically everything they see. There's 3 of them and 3 of you, so they're each pulling their triggers. The other 2 of you, Seam and Isabella Dora, you hear lots and lots of gunfire coming from the burning building.
You're also allowed to just call her Dora, David.
All right, Dora. Charlotte, what are you doing?
I am quite angry at the situation, so I'm going to make a rouse check to use my feral claws. And that is a success. And now I will fall upon whichever gunman is closest to me and attempt to claw his throat out.
All right, that'll be opposed with his gunfire. But go ahead and make your brawl roll.
Okay. That looks like 2 successes, although why did it only roll? It did not roll enough dice. I should have rolled 3 more.
Go ahead and roll 3 more. That should work.
Yeah.
The claws just add the damage, I think.
Oh. Do they?
Yeah, they just add straight to the damage.
Oh, to the brawl damage. Okay. So I suppose that would be 3 successes?
All right, the gunfire just fires Riley through the library, adding to the just sounds of pop, 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 pop. The rest of you are hearing outside. But you, Charlotte, you slice cleanly through them. Please describe your kill.
Yeah, so she has really gone very animalistic for this, and just because she was on the high ground sitting up on one of the big bookshelves, she just sort of springs like a cat, bowls over this guy. There's probably a lot of screaming and then gurgling. And then when Charlotte stands up, like it's just all completely red on her forearms.
Glorious. So, Dora, Seam, are you approaching this building at all, or is this just too much? A big burning building with gunfire?
I'm following Seam's lead, but Dora does not look too worried about the flames. She seems almost hypnotized by the fires.
Yeah, it makes sense. You know how it is.
Baby.
I will. I will shift into. I'll like rush over towards the exploding building because I assume this is probably the attack that I kind of was forewarned about. And I'll shift into horrid form. So like, I don't know. A lot of my like skin like kind of melts and rearranges itself. Like I burst out of my clothes and jacket. Now I'm kind of a grotesque four-armed ogre covered in like, sucking fanged mouths. And I kind of gorilla stomp down the street towards the burning building.
That's a fantastic image. As you...
I'm sure the cameras everywhere are loving it too.
Oh yeah, no masquerade violations whatsoever, but why should we care?
Right.
So as you approach what would be the doorway of this building, so are you gonna since you're this monstrosity, are you going to make a grand entrance? Are we gonna do a full Kool-Aid Man entrance, or do you want to just like slink in?
Oh yeah. I mean, oh yeah. I'll definitely do a Kool-Aid Man. Though I'm not really interested in busting through a wall, but if I can bust through some people, preferably armed men, then yeah, I would do that.
Sure. Go ahead and make a strength brawl to just smack them all down as you bust through with your oh yeah moment.
Okay, here, let me modify my strength and stamina and make a brawl roll. There's no extra dice. So that's
It looks like a crit to me.
yeah, that's like a lot of successes. I wish it would actually tell me instead of using all these weird symbols everywhere. Anyway, that's 2 10s and 2. So that looks like 4 successes, but 2 of them are 10s.
So yeah, 4, 5, 6, yeah. You just blast through the wall, knock down the last hunter that's visible, bypassing what nobody has seen so far. But I'm just going to tell you as a metagaming thing, the actual exits were guarded by wards against K-Knights. But now you just made a new entrance, so now that there's dead hunters everywhere and everyone in Milwaukee knows you're here, what's the next move?
Probably we should leave.
I throw the horrid form seam a gang sign.
2 of my free arms reply.
All right. Yeah, Connie gestures with her pistol and says, they're with us. Let's get out of here.
Charlotte probably starts walking while like licking the blood off her arm.
I'm gonna grab like a burning piece of wood and I'm gonna go throw it through the window of the church. Yeah, I'm just gonna yeet it through the church window and try to set the building on fire.
Tekri continues to feast on the flesh of the fallen hunters, just in a total frenzy, unaware of what's going on around her.
Is it worth it to us to try and pull her out, or is she gone?
You could try.
All right, I like poke at one of her, like I push her with I push into one of her mantis arms and say, hey, if you're in there, we got to get out of here. You can't die now. She won't want that. Also, I'm taking the fucking steak.
Could you make a let's see, what would it be? Let's go charisma and persuasion roll.
More persuasion and charisma. All right. I am very much not either of these, but we're gonna give it a shot. 3 successes. 2 of them are messy.
Nice, messy.
Yeah. 2 messies.
How do we messy success?
Oh, can I have her? No, never mind.
No, go for it.
That would not be very Sabbat of me to like direct her ire towards like the church. So I will not do that. I'll just try and tell her we gotta get out of here.
Oh, I see. She regains composure. However, she's going to kill every single human being you come across between here and wherever you're going to. It's in the Haven. Every single person she's going to try to kill. So.
Okay. I guess full send.
So now.
How do we want to, I guess I'm not going to really stop her. She's had a rough night.
She deserves this. Let her have this one.
Yeah, she can have a cheat day.
Cheat day. Murder everyone you come across. It's fine.
Yeah.
I understand. I get it. We've all been there.
Yeah.
So does the pack want to return to the Haven, or is there another location you would like to go?
I'm going to say GTFO back to the Haven for now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think right now is a good time to sort of regroup and decide what to do next.
Returning. Were you about to say something?
I was going to say just on the way, like as we're leaving, I'm going to turn to Dora and say we'll take you back to our Haven. We don't know like where your pack is, but we can all reconvene and figure out what to do next.
Dora at this point is holding her hand dangerously close to a large conflagration, and the tips of her fingers seem to be getting burned. And as soon as Sarah's character, whose name I'm brain farting on, I'm sorry.
She didn't introduce herself yet, so.
Okay, well, that's appropriate then. Well, as soon as your character addresses her, she snaps out of it and she like waves and she's like, great, I'm... And then she just kind of like pulls down her shirt again and she says, I don't do the whole gang signs. That's like not my aesthetic. It can be. It's just not right now. I'm Dora, by the way.
Salvo, good to meet you. Glad to have someone else on our side in this ungodly city. So yeah, I guess go back to the Haven, and then eventually Seam realizes that it's the same Haven.
Well, yeah, I assume if you are with Tekri and wherever Keck is, that and what's left of Keck, that we're all on the same side here.
Oh, are you the other pack mate then?
Yeah, I'll turn back to normal and grab some clothes off of a nearby corpse. And say, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right on.
So the Haven, let's do that.
Right. Salva will introduce herself to Seam.
All right. And can I try and use Dominate to keep Tekri from, making a big mess on our way back to the Haven?
Yeah, of course you can try. Go ahead and make a roll.
Okay. Let's see. Manipulation plus Dominate versus Intelligence plus Resolve. Okay.
Check out.
Rouse check. Great. This he does.
There you go. You're in control.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
What do you say to her specifically? Or whatever command?
Oh, my mesmerism is follow us until we get back to the Haven.
She does as you say. However, in her mind, she's slaughtering everybody that she sees. Picturing it. Feeling it. Tasting their blood.
Okay, so we're just kind of stomping back to the Haven while she describes how she's going to kill every person she sees? That's fine with me.
I guess it's true what they say. It's the thought that counts.
You can come in, Tekri. Love to hear it.
Huh?
You do you. I love that for you.
Colorful commentary, of course, the whole way. So, back to the Haven. It's a strange juxtaposition of how the same and similar it is since the last Connie and Charlotte you left the Haven. Seem there is a change since you've last set eyes on it, for there's a bunch of skinless bodies hanging from the ceiling. The author comes to...
I get it.
Yeah. Author comes to greet you. It's like, oh, sorry, Seam. You missed the party. I have yet to clean up, but... So, where have all you been?
Fighting our way out of a trap.
Connie will walk up to the author and ask for his hand, or ask for their hand. And he'll put the stake that killed Keck in his hand.
What is this?
It's a murder weapon is what it is.
Murder? Who got murdered?
It looks to me like whoever gave Keck that business card knew what we are. And set us up, or set her up.
Her and us. I'm in the mood for some revenge.
Oh.
It's that Tremere. That Tremere was onto us. What's her name? Carnitas.
Sounds tasty.
Yeah, no, sounds real good. I have something of a sweet tooth for for that kind of thing. Though I've had Tremere before, and it's a little watered down. Got to tell you.
You can have it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I guess that would be weird for you. It's almost like recycling.
Are you going to introduce me to your new friend?
What? Friends? Oh,
She can speak for herself. She's one of us.
Dora
all new to me.
Dora approaches this individual and she curtsies and she says, my name is Isabela Dora Alvarez de Sidonia de Medina. How do you do tonight?
Connie just kind of like Salva like flutters her eyes when like that all like pours out. She goes, "It looked like an Izzy to me."
You can call me Dora if you want.
Sure, Dora.
Another addition to the pack. Excellent. So,
wait, carnitas. Do you mean carna?
Right. Yeah, it was all fuzzy. You know, I was like floating through somebody's memories after I drank their blood. Yeah. So right, her.
Cool. I'm actually in town to give her a message.
Oh yeah. Like bad haircut, like kind of one kind of like shaggy piece of fur in front of an eye. You know what I'm talking about.
That's not quite the description I got from her, but I will take your word for it.
What's the message?
Dora reaches to her side and pulls out a long knife, and she grips the blade and she pulls on it, and the bleeding blade has like vapors coming off of it, and you can tell that is definitely some sort of blood sorcery. And she waves the knife and she says, "Death."
That's one hell of a message. You need help?
Sure.
Well, it seems the pack is changing all the time. However, it seems the jig is up. We are found out once again. They know the Sabbat is back. Let us perform our greatest ritual once again. To bond as a pack. Become one. Familiar chalice, well, familiar to everyone except for Dora, is revealed.
Dora looks very happy and excited.
The author goes ahead, slits their wrist, pours in some blood, hands it off to Dora. You next, dear.
She does the same thing and passes it on to Seam.
Seam cuts his wrist with the ridge of bone teeth on his wrist and forearm, and pours some blood into the chalice before handing it to Charlotte.
Charlotte is quite clearly in a very feral mood, so she just tears open her wrist and bleeds into the cup before handing it off to Salvo.
Salvo, she takes the blade and just like grips the blade's edge and squeezes some of the blood, some of her vitae into the chalice. And for Dora and Seam, when she opens herself up, the vitae is sweet. It's intoxicatingly sweet, and she squeezes like a good chunk in, and then rubs her hands together and passes it back to the author.
The author mutters some words and language lost to time. For a little added effect, the author adds certain spices and other ingredients. Flavor this one up. blood is our blood. We are one. The author takes a sip, hands the cup over to Hugo.
No, he hands it over to Dora. Dora takes it suspiciously, as in she is suspicious of the spices adulterating the blood. But she says, "Praise Cain, may the bonds be ever broken." Drinks it and passes it on.
Seem drinks some of the blood and seems really caresses the inside of his mouth with his lips with the added salubri blood. That's the good stuff. Before kind of hesitantly handing it back to Charlotte.
And Charlotte raises the chalice. It says, "In the name of Cain and Lilith, and to the destruction of our enemies," before throwing it back almost like she's taking a shot, and then hands what is left to Salvo.
Salvo, she takes it with one hand and she does a toast around the circle and then a toast to the steak and says, "For our sister, let's break some fucking bonds." She finishes it. And we'll hand the chalice over to the author.
Having tasted each other's blood and completing the ritual, you each see visions of each other's lives. From the author, you see a moment of intense agony well into after the author's embrace. They sought a master in fleshcraft, change their body, to remove any sign of individuality, any sign of uniqueness, to be as minimal as possible. You know that the reason they did this is commitment to the path of Cain and to leave everything of their past behind them. There was a lot of pain there. However, there will also be a lot of pain in the future the author wants to experience purely. Rachel, could you describe a moment from Charlotte's past that everyone feels?
Yeah, I think the memory that you get is the first time that she killed someone. And it's just very stereotypical. The neonate lost control while feeding. And she's looking down at this dead body in her arms. And you can feel sort of the moral gymnastics that she's doing with herself and her beast, and coming slowly to the conclusion, well, survival is the most important thing. And so as long as I'm alive, anything is justified.
Seem, how about you tell us something about Seem's past, something traumatic or some passion he has?
I guess you get an image of Seam with his old pack, like in a graveyard, in front of a freshly dug grave. Below, inside the grave, there's a newly embraced vampire, which you all can sense was the last of Seam's living touchstones, as he buries it with the grave dirt.
Sarah, please tell us something about Connie's past, something she was passionate about, or some great trauma.
It's this feeling of remorse. The room is sterile and white. It's a hospital, and it's the middle of the night. And there's a man lying in a bed. He's old and he's withered. And Connie is standing over him. And in a moment of, I guess, weakness, she tries to embrace the man. And the blood does not take. Instead, he withers into ash. And before the memory ends, you see her take off a wedding band and place it in the pile of ashes before the memory fades.
Hugo, please tell us something about Dora, something greatly meaningful.
You awaken. There's cold all around you and roughness, coarseness. As you dig yourself out of the grave, you realize that you are at the beach. You struggle against some gnawing emptiness in your heart. You can't hold on to your thoughts. They sift through your mind like sand through fingers. Nothing means anything anymore. You see a thing, you see the ocean, you see the moon, you see the dark sky, but none of it corresponds to anything going on in your head. And yet, as your eyes fall upon the ocean at night, you can't help but feel this profound sense of not quite beauty, not quite peace, since after all, nothing means anything. You don't have these connections. Something's wrong with your brain. But it feels okay. It feels gentle and cool and soothing. The end.
Each one of these moments have great meaning to each of you, both individually and now together. You have experienced all these moments as if it happened to you, as if every motivation, drive, fear, ambition, and trauma was something from your own past. We are now closer together as a pack than we have ever felt. It's time to leave. It's time for us. We must siege the city of Milwaukee. This is our last chance.
Well, I'm a fan of a little bit of chaining some doors shut and setting a building on fire.
I like that plan. Do we have a building in mind?
They're Elysium. I mean, we just met them. Well, you, she points to the scene, just met them tonight. Yeah?
Yeah, but I don't think they like hang out there all the time.
So maybe we call them together.
Yeah, let me get on the blower.
You know what I mean.
I mean, we could certainly create a crisis that causes them to want to meet.
Any ideas? Newbie?
Well, yeah, you're the one who had a message for Karna, right? So how are you going to deliver that? You were just going to hang out in town until you met her?
Yeah, kinda.
All right.
I didn't really think the full thing through. I'm not gonna lie.
I believe this might be helpful to you. The author pulls out Sparkle's phone. I found this on her body. I don't think she'll be needing it for quite some time, considering she's 4-bit in the ground. Probably going to be there for quite a long while. But this battery shouldn't last as long as she'll be in the dirt.
Didn't she mention that she had like a Connect or something? I think that's what Tekri and Keck said, right?
Yeah, she knows this guy. I forget. He had a name. It was, like really human. Like, I don't know. Give me some human names.
Albert.
No, that wasn't
it. Tom. Joe.
No. Dave, maybe? Something like that, right? I don't remember.
Can we flip the phone open and look through her contacts? Like the last couple of people she may have messaged.
Go ahead. Whoever's just looking through the contacts, make a intelligence investigation roll, which has been the most common roll this entire series of sessions.
Woo!
Doing it right.
I don't know. I'm gonna give the phone to Dora because she's younger than me.
Maybe.
Dora will laugh nervously and refuse to take it actually, and she'll say, I'm not really good with computers or reading.
Hun,
all right, fine.
Hun, you need that these nights.
I've gotten along with it just fine for almost 30 years.
All right, give me the phone, and Charlotte will hold her hand out.
Salvo will, pass off the phone. Just like, if you're staying here, and you're one of my pack mates, you're at least learning how to use a Nokia, because those things are a fucking weapon all by themselves. Ever hit someone with the blunt edge of a Nokia?
Oh yeah, I've seen a guy get torpid getting hit with one of those.
Yeah. It's like the Swiss Army knife of modern technology.
All right, I'll do my best. And it's not like I can't read like completely. It's complicated.
So while they're doing this, Charlotte was just paging through the phone, and I got 2 successes.
All right. So Sparkles being Sparkles, her contact list isn't of people's names. It's of the title she imagines them in her head. However, that one does ring familiar. The World's Voice. You believe that was the title that the character known to you as Jason went by, his moniker.
Right. That's him. Jason. Mm-hmm.
All right, do you want me to call him?
Can you pretend to be Sparkles?
I've never met Sparkles, so no.
How's Tekri doing?
Tekri's gone.
Okay.
It's been too much. This connection she had to Keck, it was a strong, strong bond.
I mean, I could text him.
Yeah, go ahead, text.
All right, but I mean, what do we want out of this? We're just going to kill this Jason dude, or I thought we wanted to kill this Carno.
Oh, well, so is there a message history?
Yes, they have been texting back and forth for quite some time, since 2018. However, most of what they say is absolute nonsense. Talking about like where they want to keep their chicken TV, and how they'd like to take a walk on the moon together. It's definitely Malkavian speak.
Yeah, I have no idea how to replicate this level of lunacy. So, I mean, if someone else wants to try. I mean, I could just bang my head against the wall a couple times and see what comes out.
I mean, I can patch you back up afterwards.
Well, this guy's in the inn, but I mean, what do we want out of him? And yeah, I figure we're not going to be able to pretend to be Sparkles.
Well, I guess working plan is find a way to get them all in one place, torch the building, and if we can find. At this point, Karna seems to know what we're about, and you know that we're not a bunch of, what did they say, Malkavians from Chicago. She probably knows that. So as far as her, she's not gonna come to whatever gathering.
Right, yeah, but that means that, like, right, shouldn't she be our number one target then?
I mean, I'm not opposed to that.
All right, because I'm sorry to say, like, you know, calling up, what was his name?
Voice of the World.
Jason?
Yeah. Voice of the World.
Okay, yeah, calling this guy up and being like, throw a party for us, I don't think that's gonna work out.
What is like Karna all about?
I don't know. She's a Tremere, books.
Books and eating salubri.
She didn't mention that second part.
That's just what Tremere are about.
Okay. I believe it.
Trust.
I don't know, stage a book fair. Start circulating rumors that some super rare book is passing through town.
Hey, David.
Yes.
Do you have a policy about taking lore sheets?
Lore sheets? You can take whatever lore sheet you want. Why?
Okay. Dora will sit and quietly contemplate while I spend some XP.
Sure. Go
If
for it.
that's cool with you.
Speaking of which, we've got time for that because it's time to take a break. Thank you, our audience, for those who are watching. We will be back in a moment.
Don't forget to hydrate while we're gone.